Our documentation that communicates everything we need to know is called our Communication Hub. And this is a document that I update every single day. It tells you everything you need to know, when my Google Meets are, and how you can get to those. But what I want to remind you of is to find the new information, you simply have to scroll down. So each time I add information to this document, I will be updating it, and you will simply scroll down on your page to find any information that you need to know. Now on this information, I've included some YouTube information. I am recording our meets every day and posting those lessons for anyone that's unable to join live. I've also been given information to share with you from our counselors. These are great tips about ways that we can manage what we're facing. And then each day's assignments are written here for you. So you would find the day, and you would simply be able to find anything we need for Mastery Connect. You can also find what we're doing in the future here. So I just want to remind you of those expectations and that that's updated every single day. And once again, I am recording the lessons that I do, and I'm posting those because I have a couple of students that have shared, I want to hear what you have to say, but I'm just unable to be with you at 12. And so those lessons can be recorded. Or if you maybe have a bad connection one day, you can simply click back on these recorded lessons to see it without any interruptions. I've already reminded you guys about our at-home choice board. On the first day of virtual learning, I took some time and went through some of the activities on this choice board. I'm not going to do that today, but I want to remind you that it's there, and you can use this to help you anytime you feel bored. And this would be something in your control. So this would be something that maybe if you've had too much TV time and not enough good thinking time, this would be something I would like to encourage you to participate in as you're at home in our virtual learning time. Today we're going to begin our lesson by going over yesterday's independent practice. So yesterday in our Google Meet at the end of our lesson, I gave an assignment, and it was to log in yesterday to Mastery Connect and complete the independent practice assignment using this test code. I want you guys to notice that this was assigned yesterday, so you will not be able to complete it after our meet today because I will have given you the right answers. So I'm noticing in our comments that Ms. Hogue has asked everyone and restated the expectation. We are only using the comment feature to respond when I ask you to. Also, we're not in control of other people, so we don't need to feel pressured to say things like, please stop doing that to other people. Even though that's respectful, it can cause hurt feelings, and it can also prevent you from being able to learn. So I'm going to ask you to follow Ms. Hogue's directions. So yesterday, you guys clicked this in, and you saw something called Flying with a Tiger. You read the passage. After you read the passage, you then solved several questions about this text called Flying with a Tiger. So I'm just reminding you of that text that you read by showing it to you. So let's go ahead and look at the first question that you solved yesterday. Question 1. Read the following sentence from the passage. Before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to prepare her for the journey. Which dictionary entry best defines prepare? So I would need to look at this sentence and look for any context clues that could help me. I'm noticing around the word prepare, it says before he could go, before he could take to the sky. Then it says we needed to do something for the journey. These are all context clues around the word prepare. And I'm noticing it asks me for the best definition. Uses the word define. So now I'm looking for A, get ready, B, make a meal, C, deal with, or D, turn down. Well, I'm thinking about some answer choices that I could eliminate. I'm thinking, let's try the plug it in strategy. Let's see if we can plug it in. And we're not looking for what sounds right. We're looking for what makes sense based on the context clues. Before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to get ready for the journey. I think it might be A, but I'm going to check all of my other answer choices. Let's see about the next one. Before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to make a meal for the journey. Well, it kind of sounds right, but I'm thinking about if you would need to make a meal in the sky. Probably not, so it might be my distractor. I'm going to leave it open right now. Let's look at C. Before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to deal with the journey. Well, I think we can cross this one out. And now I have D. Before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to turn down for the journey. I definitely think we can cross out D. So I now have the 50-50 strategy with A, get ready, or B, make a meal. And since I have to choose the strongest answer, I think it would definitely be A. And A was the best answer to this one. All right, so now let's look at the chart that you guys completed. Number 2. Number 2 says, the main idea of paragraphs 2 and 3 is that zoos help protect wildlife and teach people about wild animals such as Sumerian tigers. Use the letter choices A through D below to choose the 2 key details in the chart that best support the main idea of those paragraphs. So I'm thinking about the details from the article and what supports the main idea. And I'm noticing it tells me this in the chart. Detail from the article supports the main idea. Okay, so I'm thinking I have to choose 2 that back up the main idea. I'm also noticing it gives me the main idea here. It says it right there. The main idea of paragraphs 2 and 3 is that Thank you for waiting so patiently, and thank you so much, Ms. Hug, for giving them a challenge as I was reconnecting. So right before we got disconnected, I wanted to show you guys that this question gives us the main idea on number 2. So it says, the main idea of paragraphs 2 and 3 is that zoos protect wildlife and teach people about wild animals such as a certain type of tiger written about in the text. So now I'm thinking about how I could support that. And since it asked me for 2 answers, well, I'm thinking there are only 2 that are going to support the best answers. Okay, so I'm thinking about the strongest answer, and I think it might be B and D. So now I'm noticing B says when a zoo wants a new tiger, it tries to get one from another zoo. That way more tigers can stay in the wild. Well, that's definitely supporting protecting wildlife here. And then also D says, but zoos around the world keep a few of the big cats to teach people about tigers. Well, I'm noticing this is found in the second part of the main idea. So now I have the best answers of B and D, choosing 2 that support the main idea. You also solved another question, question number 3. This question has 2 parts. First answer A, then answer part B. Part A, which sentence best explains the main idea of the passage? A, zoos often help increase the number of wild animals by raising and setting free animals that were born in a zoo. B, transporting animals from zoo to zoo must be done carefully so that the animals are kept healthy and safe. C, the number of Samaritan tigers have been declining quickly. And then D, Skylar's keeper hopes that Skylar will start a new family. So this is focused on our skill. Yesterday we practiced main idea. So I'm not going to choose any answer choice that is not focused on the most important information. So I'm going to begin by crossing out anything that I see that is not important in the text. Well, I'm thinking zoos often help increase the number of wild animals, and then it's talking about what they do. I'm thinking about, is that the best main idea of this text? It is true, but is it the most important information? I'm not sure, so I'm going to leave A open. Let's look at B. Transporting animals from zoo to zoo must be done carefully so that the zoo animals are kept healthy and safe. Well, I'm thinking this might explain a main idea of the passage. Look at C. The number of Samaritan tigers have been declining quickly. Well, I'm thinking about, is that the main idea of the entire passage? I'm thinking that I might be able to cross out C. It is not about the entire text. D. Skylar's keeper hopes that Skylar will start a new family. This is a tiny detail and I do not need it. So I now have narrowed it down to two answer choices. I have the 50-50 strategy, A or B. One is the distractor, one is the best answer. The best answer is B. It is the sentence that best explains the main idea. Transporting animals from zoo to zoo must be done carefully so that the animals are kept healthy and safe. And the entire text that I read was all about transporting them. A is not the strongest answer. Zoos often help increase the number of wild animals by raising and setting free animals that were born in a zoo. This is also not based on the text. So now part B is asking me to back that up with evidence. I'm noticing in part B that it asked me to choose 3 that best support. So I cannot look for any distractors. And the only answers I'm going to choose must back up my best answer in part A. So I'm looking for answers that prove transporting animals must be done from zoo to zoo must be done carefully so that the animals are kept healthy and safe. Okay, A, they are endangered and their numbers are declining. I don't think that has anything to do with transporting animals, so I'm going to cross out A. B, when we moved one of our tigers, a female named Skylar, to the San Francisco Zoo in California, I went along to help keep her safe. Well, I'm thinking about, does this show anything about transporting animals? Well, it's talking about moving an animal, so B could be a possible answer. Let's look at C. By the age of 3, Skylar was old enough to leave her siblings and start her own family. I'm thinking about, does this support transporting animals from zoo to zoo and keeping them healthy and safe? I don't think C is the best answer to support part A, so I'm going to cross it out. D. We trained her to go into a shipping crate and let us close the door behind her. Well, this is showing more about how they kept it safe. They trained it, they prepared, they did it carefully. I think it could be an answer. E. While we wait at the Indiana airport, I peeked into Skylar's crate. I was happy to see her sleeping peacefully. I think this is showing them transporting them, leaving me with the strongest answers of B, D, and E to back up the best main idea. And now let's look at the last question that you solved independently yesterday. Looking at number 5. Which sentence best explains why Skylar's keeper gave her raw meatballs? So I'm thinking about what the text told me. It says, what best explains why Skylar's keeper gave her raw meatballs? A, Skylar liked to eat human food more than food meat for tigers. I'm thinking about, did they tell me that? This is not found in the text, and it's not why that they gave the tiger raw meatballs. B, Skylar's keeper wanted to travel with Skylar to San Francisco. Well, this is not why they gave them meatballs. C, It is the only food Skylar would eat when she was traveling. Or D, Skylar wanted to reward her for going in the crate. So I'm thinking now about what the text actually told me. And I think it might be D, but I want to go back to the text and look for when they gave the tiger these meatballs and why. So I'm looking back at the text. Looking for where they transported the tiger and meatballs. I'm noticing there's a heading that says meatball galore. This can help me find the answer to this question. When moving day arrived, we put lots of meatballs inside Skylar's crate. Once Skylar was inside, the crate was loaded into the back of the truck. Skylar turned around in the crate to see what was happening, but she was quiet and calm the whole way to the airport. Skylar and I flew on an airplane that carries packages, not people. Skylar's crate was loaded on with other large packages. The plane left at midnight and we stopped in Indiana to change aircraft. While we waited at the Indiana airport, I peeked into Skylar's crate. I was happy to see her sleeping peacefully. Our second plane landed in San Francisco at 8 o'clock in the morning. A zookeeper from the San Francisco Zoo met us and took us to Skylar's new home. I knew Skylar was nervous, but did not come out of the crate as quickly as she had gone in. She growled at her new zookeepers. We left her alone to calm her down. Paragraph 9. Skylar's new keepers took me to see the tiger exhibit where Skylar would be living. I told them that Skylar liked to take a dip in her swimming pool and to play with plastic barrels, giant plastic balls, empty plastic flower pots, perfume-scented logs, and ice. By the next day, Skylar had calmed down a little bit. And then I'm noticing nothing about meatballs in paragraph 10. So as I'm looking here, I'm noticing information right above that heading too. Paragraph 5 says, before Skylar could take to the skies, we needed to prepare for the journey. We trained her to go into a shipping crate and let us close the door behind her. When she cooperated, we gave her uncooked meatball, her favorite treat. Oh my goodness, I'm noticing right here, this is the evidence that supports what I'm trying to find. So now I can go back and I can answer that question with confidence. So now as I look back at my answer choices, I'm noticing C, it is the only food Skylar would eat when she traveled. I'm also noticing that was not found in the text when I went back, leaving me with the strongest answer of D. All right. Once again, I want to remind you, since we've gone over the best answers, you will not be able to click this into Mastery Connect at this point, but you will have another independent assignment at the end of today's lesson. So let's look at what we're focused on today. Please fill in my blank using your chat feature. So just like in class, you're going to type wherever I stop. I can use the main idea and supporting details to blank the text. Very good. I see a lot of people commenting. So today our focus is on summarizing. We're going to build on our knowledge of main idea and focus on how we can use that to summarize. Each of you have your interactive notebooks, and these are some notes that we've glued in before that can help you with main idea and summary. Now, we focused yesterday on main idea, so I'm not going to take the time to reread that to you, but I want to encourage you to study these notes as you work on your independent practice today. This would be a great tool to help you. I also want you to notice determining importance. This is when we determine what is it mostly about, and we filter out what we do not need, like the picture there that shows noodles. That's what growing readers do when they're trying to summarize. A summary includes the main idea and only important ideas. It uses keywords or your words, and today we're going to focus specifically on nonfiction text, so we have to use the main idea and key details to be able to summarize. Now in the past, and if we were in class, we would complete something that looks like this brace map. So I want to remind you and activate your previous knowledge, your prior knowledge. These brace maps can help us organize and summarize information. Today we're going to be looking at how we can use the main idea and supporting key details about a topic. We're only going to include details that are important, details that answer questions about the main idea, those who, what, when, where, why, how kinds of questions. And we're going to put our information in order, and it has to make sense. So guys, as we learn today, I want you to know that it must be in order. The reason I'm telling you that over and over again, and you'll hear me say that several times throughout the lesson, is because when you do your independent practice today, there's a question, and if you do not put it in order, you will miss it, so be careful. Let's look at our first text called Even the Toothbrush Has a History. I want everyone to use their chat feature to fill in my blank. The toothbrush has a history dating back thousands of years. Ancient Egyptians used toothbrushes made from the frayed ends of blank. In the 1400s, the Chinese invented the first bristle toothbrush. The bristles were made from pig hairs attached to a bamboo handle. In 1938, the invention of nylon led to a modern toothbrush made of soft blank. These improvements led to today's toothbrush, which comes in all shapes and sizes. But the basic job of the tool has not changed much. The toothbrush is still used to keep our teeth clean and blank. Very good. I can see almost every student gave me the correct answers as you read along with me. We are now going to use this text to think about the main idea and summary. So on my screen you can see I've done some brain work. I have underlined what I think might be the most important information. And I want you to notice that they're in order. So I'm not going to mix them. I'm going to keep them in sequential order. And I also want you to notice that what I'm doing today is just like a brace map, but instead of up and down, it's sideways. So I want you to know the connection with what we've done in the past and what we're doing today. It's the same. It's not new. It's just turned sideways. So let's go ahead and think about the main idea. On my screen, you can see my brain work. I'm thinking the main idea is the materials used to make toothbrushes have changed over thousands of years. I think this is the most important information that the author's telling me. I see the word history in the title, so I know that might be important, and that's in my main idea. When you're thinking about changes over time, you're thinking about history. I'm also now noticing the first sentence of my paragraph says the toothbrush has a history dating back thousands of years. That's very similar to what I wrote. The materials used to make toothbrushes have changed over thousands of years. So now let's think about those key details. I'm thinking the first thing I've underlined says ancient Egyptians. This is important. It's showing history. Ancient Egyptians made toothbrushes from the frayed ends of twigs, and you guys filled in the blank when we read that. I've underlined it. Now you can see it in our key detail 1 box. So now I'm thinking about my second key detail to back up that main idea. Well, I'm thinking in the 1400s, the Chinese invented the first bristle toothbrush, which was made from pig hairs. This is found second. They're still in order. And it backs up how they've changed over time. Because we don't use toothbrushes today made with pig hairs. That would be disgusting. And now I'm looking for my third detail. Another detail, and you can see my brain work where I have underlined in the text at the top left side of my screen. In 1938, the invention of nylon led to a toothbrush with soft nylon bristles. Well, all of this is showing changes. Ancient Egyptians in the 1400s, and then in 1938, time is passing. Those events are in order. They're also all backing up how the materials used to make toothbrushes have changed over thousands of years. Now I can use that information to summarize. Please fill in my blank. and I'm on the summary section. It's typed in blue. Over thousands of years, materials used for toothbrushes have changed. Ancient Egyptians used the frayed ends of twigs as blank. In the 1400s, the Chinese invented the first bristle toothbrush using pig hairs. In 1938, nylon was invented. It was used to make toothbrushes with soft nylon bristles. Thank you for filling in my blank. I want you to notice that as I'm summarizing, these are my ideas. They're not copied word for word from the text. They're also in order of the sequence of the text. So I'm not mixing up the order. And most importantly, I'm only including how the materials have changed over thousands of years, which is the main idea. So I don't have anything tiny. No tiny details should be in a summary. At the bottom of my screen, you can see some important academic vocabulary words that we have to know to understand the standard, like summary, main idea, key details, and summarize. These are words that we have to understand how to summarize. So now you guys are going to help me with the next one. After we read this text, you're going to be solving some questions, and I may be calling on a couple of students to help me. So if I call on you, you will unmute yourself, but please do not do that unless I call on you. I'm noticing the title, New Ways with Words, by S.L. Hughes. So I'm thinking that this entire text might be about words that we use. I'm noticing a text feature with a mouse on top of another kind of mouse that we use when we're typing on a computer sometimes. So I'm noticing now the title, New Ways with Words, and how that is a multiple meaning. A mouse that's a rodent, and then also a mouse when you're on a computer. I want to remind you guys, as you're using comments, I've asked you not to comment today unless I ask you to fill in my blank or I give you a challenge. So please do not comment right now. Let's look at paragraph 1. Now that you have directions, I would like for you to use the chat feature to fill in my blank. Over the centuries, the English language has undergone many changes. Words that once rhymed no longer sound the same. Others have their origins in lands far from America, and still other words have taken on new and special blank. Paragraph 2. Old English poems and rhymes often provide clues into how word pronunciations have changed. For example, the word see did not always rhyme with see. Originally, it rhymed with say, and speak once rhymed with the word break. Sometime after the 1600s, people shifted the way they said the sound for the letters EA in many words. Now, see sounds like T or P, and speak rhymes with beak, not break. No wonder spelling can be confusing. And you can see that I've underlined Old English poems and rhymes often provide clues into how word pronunciations have changed. This is important when I'm thinking about summarizing. Paragraph 3. Today, we think of everyday words like shirt, zero, and dollar as part of our vocabulary, but they were borrowed from other languages long ago. Average, check, and scarlet are just a few words that came from the Arab word. The Vikings, Old Germans, and Romans loaned us words like glitter, weird, and soldier. We also borrowed words such as prairie and mesa from French and blank. And we needed to name food such as chocolate, ketchup, oranges, pickles, and pretzels. So we added those words to our vocabulary too. Paragraph 4. Even now, English continues to change. Consider how new technology has given familiar words like mouse or menu new meaning. Now you can surf the web without getting wet or tangling with a spider. And you can catch a bug or a virus, but so can your computer. Certainly, these surprising changes to English make talking and writing a real adventure. Thank you for filling in my blank, and you can also see I've underlined 2 more details that I think are important when I'm thinking about how to summarize. Notice they're also in order. So now I need your help. Let's go ahead and see if we can figure out some details to support the main idea. So the main idea in this paragraph or passage says the English language has undergone many changes over the years, and that's what this entire text is about. Now I have to support it with details from the text and think about what would make the best summary. So I have underlined some things and I'm going to ask you guys to help me. So in a moment, I'm going to call on someone. That person is going to tell me what they think is underneath this box that I'm wiggling here. And just so you know, you might want to check what's been underlined for you in the passage. It can help you. All right, so let's see who can help me today thinking about the best answer. All right. Ty, can you unmute your volume and tell me what you think might be underneath my green box? Ty, can you unmute your volume and go ahead and share what you think might be the key detail number 1? Okay, let's see. What about Liam? Can you unmute your volume and tell me what you think might be under key detail number 1?
Shut up.
Go ahead, Ty. If you have an answer, you can share it with us.
I don't have one.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. Ty, on my screen, paragraph 2, can you see where I've underlined something?
It says Old English poems
Yeah.
and rhymes. Tyler, move. I can't see. It's blurry. I can't see.
Well, you did a great job giving us a start, and he's right. The best answer is old poems and rhymes show that word pronunciations have changed. This is proving the English language has undergone many changes over the years. And I included this detail because it shows the way we pronounce English has changed. Okay, Liam, what do you think might go in my second key detail? Key detail number 2.
What is number 2?
Liam, go ahead and tell me what you think about number 2.
Okay.
Okay. I think maybe some people are struggling with technology. Key detail number 2, Norbeth, can you tell me what you think might be under that? Hey guys, if your volume is not muted, go ahead and mute yourself again.
Okay.
Okay, key detail number 2, underlined in the passage, says English has borrowed words like scarlet and ketchup from many other countries. I think this is important in supporting our main idea because it's showing how they've changed over time. So it's backing up the main idea. And then lastly, key detail number 3. Wes, can you tell me what you think might be under key detail number 3? Look at what's been underlined in paragraph 4 to help you.
Probably, technology have been giving, similar words.
Good. Thank you. It is. It's words take on a new special meaning when they are used with new ideas and inventions. And I know that because of what Wes just read. Consider how new technology has given familiar words like mouse or menu new meanings. Very good. So notice how my details are in order, guys. I didn't mix those up. They all back up how the English language has changed over time. Now we have a writing prompt at the bottom. It says to write a summary of how the English language has changed throughout centuries. Guys, to note this is a racist type of prompt. If we were going to actually answer this prompt today, we would follow some steps to success. We would do our T-chart, we would read the text, plan with our Foursquare, type our rough draft, and most importantly, revise and edit with arms, cuts, and the writing rubric. All right, guys, I'm noticing our time is almost over today, so I'll go ahead and go over directions for today's independent practice. And you are expected to do this today. Please do not put it off until tomorrow because sometimes we have technology trouble and we need help, and I want to be able to help you. So you will click in to Google Classroom today. When you do, you're going to see under Virtual Learning today's date, 3/26 of 20. Thursday's independent practice. When you click that assignment, you will then see a screenshot as well as a link, and these are the directions you'll follow. Students need to use the attached codes in Mastery Connect to complete today's independent practice. Students can use the Master Connect app or Safari. And then once you click on that screenshot, you'll see Thursday's code for Mastery Connect. Now guys, this code turns off after I go over the best answers tomorrow. So I want you to know that you cannot wait until I give those answers to you and then click in the best answers. That's a form of cheating, so you are expected to do it before our next Google Meet. So now that you guys have seen a lot from me today on how to use main idea to summarize, I want to know if I can answer any questions for you. If you do not have a question, you can get off when you're ready. If you have a question, please stay and talk to me. And Ty, I want to talk to you because I haven't seen you, so stay for just a second. Anybody else that's finished, have an excellent day. Go play outside and enjoy your time. I love you guys.